This episode of Headlock Talk is brought to you by
Austin-based company Naturally Hemp's and their new line of CBD gummies. These gummies are made with 100% baked-in, pharmaceutical-grade, terpene and cannabinoid-rich, non-isolate-based CBD. What we're talking about here is the entourage effect. These CBD gummies have multiple cannabinoids in them to give you the full effect of a full-spectrum CBD. Unlike some other brands that use a spray-on CBD, Naturally Hemp CBD distillate is baked in, so you know you're getting the full dose with each gummy. I personally use them for all kinds of things like sleep or muscle pain, and they also have 5 really great flavors. They have strawberry, green apple, lemon, lime, watermelon, and the orange flavor has vitamin C in it. So if this sounds like it would work for you, head over to your nearest Creative Sig vape shop and pick up yours today to see for yourself the difference Naturally Hemp's gummies can make in your life.
Well, yeah, because I say, like, what I say? Like, I don't know, it's just a flub. I notice it every time I hear it.
You flubbed it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a great word, too. I like that word. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You do movies, too. I haven't seen Flubber in
Not in a minute.
years.
Yeah.
I've seen Flipper, I haven't seen Flipper.
No?
Flipper, I haven't seen that. What's that about?
Flippers with dolphins.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Dolph Ziggler.
I broke the record, I had a straight face alone. Okay, I didn't, I failed. I was last.
But you know what's not going to fail? This next episode of the Headlock Talk Knockout Series, ladies and gentlemen. We are back here to give you some quick and fun rundown here of the Elimination Chamber show and bring you guys up to speed with some of the news that's been going on throughout the week. So, of course, as always, my name's Tanner. To my left, Mixmaster Producer Extraordinaire, J-Rod.
Yo, yo.
And to my right here, Mr. Stephen Groody.
Howdy, howdy.
Rocking the boot.
Yep, still rocking the boot. Got a little bit more time with it.
Looks like it's doing better, though.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not rolling on the ground in pain, so that's good.
Yeah. That's always a good thing.
That's always a good thing.
So, to kind of kick things off here, since, like I said, we're just going to catch you guys up with some quick news and talk about some things that are going in and around wrestling right now. We have Elimination Chamber on Sunday, so 2 days from now. Mm-hmm. But we also want to talk about a couple things that happened this week here. We have on Raw, a lot of people got really, really upset with how Raw ended. We had Becky Lynch had an angle where she had to apologize for slapping Steph and slapping Triple H.
That's a lot of slaps.
She slapped him a lot.
Yeah.
Essentially what happens here is that the angle is she's supposed to apologize for slapping the McMahons. The whole angle goes all the way through the end of the night. Triple H and Stephanie come out. Becky comes out. And Becky says, okay, I'm sorry. Totally out of character. The crowd is kind of...
Yeah, she shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, the crowd's not very accepting of the apology, let's say.
Since we're jumping in, is that bad writing? Is the crowd mad at the writing?
I think it's just completely out of character for somebody like Becky in her position to actually apologize for something. You wouldn't expect Stone Cold Steve Austin to apologize for something.
No.
I mean, to a certain degree, I guess it probably is, booing at the bad writing, so to speak.
Perhaps, yeah.
But yeah, it's just kind of out of character. You don't expect Becky to say that.
Right. So Triple H and Steph, they say, okay, cool, no, that's fine. If we accept your apology. You're back in for the match against Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania. Becky says, that's it. That's all I needed to do. They're like, that's it. They walk out of the ring. What they do from there, Vince McMahon now comes out. He says,
a lot of beef.
Yeah, that's exactly it. He says, I don't accept your apology. I want to have somebody who's more charismatic than you. I'm suspending you for 60 days. That leaves you 5 days out from WrestleMania, or 5 days after WrestleMania, rather. And I'm picking out somebody who's more charismatic and who can actually do a good job here in this match, picking out Charlotte. So they basically wrote this as Charlotte's replacing Becky. Everybody on wrestling Twitter lost their minds. So I feel like a lot of people out there are thinking that it's a shoot, that Charlotte is facing Ronda. They're replacing Becky completely. Mm-hmm. I mean, according to everything that I've heard and read from Dave Meltzer at the Wrestling Observer and for everybody else otherwise who have written about the subject more in depth, this is completely a work. We're going to have a triple threat match here.
That's what I'm thinking. And also, too, I think, I talked to you about this, off the podcast.
Okay.
I think that this is a great maneuver to transition Charlotte over to Raw so that a triple threat makes sense. Mm-hmm. You think about it, Elimination Chamber, you still got some time, got Fastlane after that. So you've got time, and this is the perfect time to move her to Raw if you're trying to position that, so it doesn't come across as predictable. I think, the fans are mad now, but I think they'd be more mad if this was done, week before WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Oh,
for sure.
Absolutely.
Because then it's like, oh, you don't think Becky can do it by herself, and you're moving her in.
Mm-hmm.
You're moving Charlotte in for that territory.
Yeah.
When, I think they're just trying to do what's best for business.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. No, definitely. I mean, if you look at it at face value and don't really look into where this leads, I can definitely see why people are upset, because Becky's awesome and people want to see Becky versus Ronda.
Yeah.
But if you actually take everything into context, everything I've heard, it definitely sounds like it's leading up to that triple threat. With it leading to that triple threat, I think this is actually a pretty interesting way to go about that.
Plus, we're going to need a triple threat because isn't Rousey sort of leaving or highly diminishing her role?
It's
after
rumored.
WrestleMania?
There's nothing solid saying that she is for sure leaving.
I'm not saying leaving, but she's taking a step back.
Yeah, I mean, from everything that I understand, she is wanting to start a family very soon. That would put her probably losing at WrestleMania, or maybe even still working maybe a show or two after WrestleMania just to kind of completely write herself out.
Yeah.
But, I do see that being probably the easy way to go here. Though I will say, I was actually highly looking forward to seeing Becky versus Ronda one-on-one.
Yeah.
So,
Now,
would you guys have rather seen Becky versus Ronda one-on-one, or would you rather have gotten this triple threat instead?
I mean, honestly, both of them would be great matches, but I would actually rather see it as a triple threat than a one-on-one.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine either way. One thing I would like to say, though, is we rarely, and again, maybe because I'm not in enough circles, but we rarely hear, I want to see Charlotte versus, versus this, versus that. Even though she is the hardest working woman in show business. She just does her matches. Yeah, she's a heel, so I guess, people are thinking, I don't want to see Charlotte versus so-and-so. I don't think about that because we know she's going to be in the mix as a heel. I'd like to see 2-3 month storyline of Charlotte versus Becky. Maybe Charlotte screws Becky out of the title at WrestleMania, and we get a run of that.
Yeah.
I don't think we hear enough of, Charlotte wanting Charlotte in the mix. You know what I mean? Even though she's put a lot of people over.
It's going to definitely be a great match. I highly look forward to it. I really do hope that this does become the first women's match to rightfully main event WrestleMania at the top of the card. I think that would be well deserving of
Absolutely.
this. Given the amount of time that we have for it now, I think it's very, very likely that we'll see that happen. Moving right along here, some further news. Of course, AEW Double or Nothing tickets went on sale this week. First for pre-sale on Monday, which I believe sold out within or under 30 minutes. And then when they went to sale live to the general public on Wednesday, it sold out under 4 minutes. So the final figures that I'm seeing here for tickets purchased, we're probably looking at an attendance between 11,400 and 14,000 people at their show in Las Vegas for Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
5 matches have been announced so far.
Let me just say, that's a crazy amount of time for it to sell out in for the first, like you said, the first canon show for AEW.
Yeah, no, 4 minutes is absolutely a ridiculously short amount of time for it to sell out under. So I'm really happy about that result for AEW. Again, I've got about 5 or 6 matches that have been announced so far. We've of course got Hangman Adam Page versus Pac in a singles match.
That'd be a good match.
Absolutely. SoCal Uncensored versus Frankie Kazarian, which is Frankie Kazarian, Scorpio Sky, and Christopher Daniels versus CIMA and 2 tag partners. Shima's from OWE, from I believe it's either China or Japan. They're partnered currently with AEW as part of a sponsorship, so that should be amazing. OWE has some very talented guys who, or from what I've heard, some very talented guys who will bring to the table something that maybe we as American audiences have never seen before. So I'm pretty excited to see what happens there. We also have Britt Baker versus Nyla Rose versus Kylie Ray. This is a triple threat women's match, so that should be interesting. Cody is going to have a match against an opponent that's to be determined currently.
Okay.
You can catch that on one of their more recent episodes of their leading up to Double or Nothing. You can find that on YouTube. Who he's going to face, it'll be very, very interesting to find out. We also have Kenny Omega versus Chris Jericho.
Woo!
That's going to be a barn burner of a match.
Yeah, that's
going to be fun.
It's going to be nuts.
The first one was great. Second one's going to be probably just as great, if not even better.
I think it'll be better only because of the context of what's happening and the fact that it's going on at an AEW show and that there's just going to be a lot of momentum and a lot of hype going into this. So.
Any word on who's televising it?
It's probably going to be on pay-per-view. You could probably also catch it on Fight TV. So there will definitely be multiple different outlets that you can catch it on. One match that hasn't been announced yet that I thought may be on this card, but not as of yet. We had the Lucha Bros and the Young Bucks having a match. Lucha Bros being Pentagon Jr. and his brother Phoenix. I thought that was going to be a heck of a match. It's kind of a no-brainer, but I don't know what the dates, how that matches up with what their schedules are at right now. So yeah, we certainly still have some time. Hopefully we do see that Pentagon and Phoenix come out and have a match with the Young Bucks, though. That would be great. Just to close out some further news here, some real quick news before we get to the Elimination Chamber rundown for you guys. Undertaker will be at the StarCast the night before with AEW. StarCast has no association directly with AEW, so he's not signing with them, but it is quite interesting that he's taking these kind of independent dates just to do fan events and signings and stuff like that. So he's done it before. He charges actually a pretty hefty premium. Yeah, so I've heard like $150 for autographed pictures and stuff like that.
Man,
but hey, I mean, it's the Undertaker.
I mean, I get it.
You know,
good lord.
The power of branding, kids.
The power of branding and marketing. Maybe one day we'll get to the point where we can sell an autograph for $150.
Yeah, right. Hopefully.
Yeah. Also, quick news: Jimmy Uso did get arrested, but was released on bond. So I do feel like he's going to still end up making Elimination Chamber. Apparently he was pulled over, or his wife was pulled over. Allegedly the car smelled like alcohol.
Quote unquote reeked of booze.
Jimmy Uso at then one point allegedly took off his shirt. Apparently the officer allegedly took this as he was trying to square up with the officer, and then he was tased before being arrested. He then bailed himself out, which is nice for Jimmy. He should still make the show, but
I feel like if he wasn't gonna make the show, we would have heard about it by now.
I mean, WWE released a statement that he's his own kind of guy. WWE has no responsibility for what he did, but
honestly,
nonetheless,
I think their contracts protect them because he's an independent contractor.
True.
So him not being an employee actually, ironically, makes it easier for him to just keep fighting.
Little tidbit: if he does make it to Elimination Chamber, he will be fighting out on bail. But just wanted to throw that out there.
Hey, it's like rappers, man. That just enhances your persona.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah. No. I mean, there's a good chance that they might win the titles. Who knows? I mean, if we're trying to build this whole Shane versus Miz story to WrestleMania, why not put the titles on the Usos?
I mean, yeah, I personally want to see the Shane and Miz tag team go on for a lot longer than that, but that's just me personally.
You know, it's also funny considering he was arrested yesterday. Today would be day one that he's actually off of out of jail.
Ba-doom.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Some day one ish.
Yeah, day one ish.
Yeah.
I see what just happened there.
Yeah. So just a quick preview here for Elimination Chamber, guys, or for our German listeners, No Escape. That's what they call it in Germany. You can't have a show called Elimination Chamber in Germany.
For obvious reasons.
No Escape, good catch.
Yeah, there you go. But I mean, me personally, just looking up and down this card here, it looks like a hot dumpster fire.
Yeah, I don't know
if that dumpster fire was the agent to start another dumpster fire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, really this card just confuses me. I don't know where this Rousey Ruby Riott match came from. I don't know where this Bobby Lashley Finn Balor match came from. The handicap match, the Braun Strowman Baron Corbin match feels shoot in. I don't know, man. It's very confusing to me.
And honestly, it looks like it confused the Wikipedia audience that puts pages together, because I don't know what kind of order this is. I don't know if this is in order.
No, the
I don't
order
even
definitely.
know if I want to see the order.
Yeah, the order here doesn't make too much sense, but I will try and help as best I can here with getting us up to speed. Apparently, in the pre-show, they're going to have probably what's going to turn out to be my match of the night, Buddy Murphy versus Akira Tozawa.
It's going to be a good match, for sure.
It'll hopefully be a very good match.
Yeah.
I very much look forward to it.
I'm tired of them putting all the Cruiserweight Championships on the pre-show.
Yeah.
Give these guys some spotlight, man. They have some real talent, and you are not showing it.
They're going to be on the pre-show again? I thought they weren't on the pre-show.
No, yeah, it looks like see how it's itemized with a P next to it.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's
Damn it, Vince.
yeah.
Never mind.
Give these guys their time. Give these guys their time, especially Buddy Murphy.
And considering that after the pre-show, there's only 6 other matches listed on the card. I just don't really know where you go here lineup-wise, but I'll try my best here to coordinate it a little bit. You have Braun Strowman versus Baron Corbin in a no disqualification match. Like Stephen put, this does feel a little bit shoot in, but if you go by storyline, I mean, anytime that Baron Corbin's really run around and made a huge mess, it's always Braun Strowman who's there to make him get these hands.
Yeah.
So
To me, it's unfortunate that in a realistic way, or a very real way, Raw did lose ratings when he was general manager. Because I thought that was some of the best writing and best work. I don't think that was why Raw was having bad,
no, there was
ratings. I think ironically, if any reason you tuned into Raw was just for that portion. You know what I mean? So,
I mean,
but he was the pseudo head, so they had to turn it around. I thought that was a great angle.
Yeah, no, they're going to pass the buck in terms of why in story were the ratings failing. They're going to say, oh, well, yeah, of course it was Baron Corbin. No, I mean, it was 100% Vince McMahon and the writing team. But that's where we are here today.
One cool thing about this match, I will say, is we are finally getting the match that we did not get at Royal Rumble. So
TLC.
At TLC, right. So that's cool. We are getting a little bit of that we missed out on, but at the same time, like I said, it does feel shoot in.
Yeah. We have another interesting angle here. Bobby Lashley, who is the Intercontinental Champion, and his manager, Lio Rush, will have a handicapped Intercontinental title match here with Finn Balor, meaning that Finn Balor could actually potentially pin either Lashley or Lio Rush to win the championship.
Here's what makes me mad.
I already know what you're going to say.
If there ever was a time to write a story with no stakes, Bobby Lashley and Lio Rush, that's the time. Because Lio Rush is doing tremendous mic work. Tremendous. And Lashley's doing great ring work. I like Lio Rush's mic work. But it's I saw you shaking your head, Steven. It's not high stakes. WWE has gotten their booking so wrong in so many ways over the last 2 to 3 years. They ran an entire match and rivalry between Bray Wyatt and John Cena for nothing. John Cena puts Bray Wyatt through a stereo for nothing.
Right.
Yeah, no.
But Bobby Lashley and Lio Rush, with his antics, deserves a handicap match for the Intercontinental Championship?
Well, so
what in all of the holy bookings, Batman, is this?
Well,
what is, it's screwing up from a booking perspective.
Yeah.
And Elimination Chamber are they trying to throw a pay-per-view away? Am I wrong? Bray Wyatt and John Cena had a great 3-match series, and it was for nothing. They weren't even fighting for the United States Championship.
So let me paint a picture for you real quick, because here's how I see it. You have Finn Balor, who's been rivaling with Bobby Lashley on Raw recently.
I was going to say, which should be just a straight-up match.
It should be. But
that should be, if it's for this prestigious belt like the Intercontinental Championship, it should be for a straight-up and down match.
Yeah, it should be, but check this out. You also have to remember that there's Vince McMahon. And Vince McMahon probably realistically doesn't believe Bobby Lashley would ever be beat by Finn Balor. I mean, you could because you look at the size of Bobby Lashley and you look at the size of Finn Balor. You're like, oh well, Bobby Lashley. There's no way he would ever lose against a guy like Finn Balor, which is not true.
Yeah,
but I think that they might have the Intercontinental title switched hands in Elimination Chamber. Finn Balor will most likely win the Intercontinental Championship, and that's why you have to have Lio Rush in, because maybe they believe Finn Balor pinning Lio Rush for the title is much more convincing than Finn Balor pinning Bobby. So
please
see the only problem I have with that,
the Triple H,
right? And I'm not defending that. That's just their logic,
right?
I'm not defending that. That's just their logic.
Yeah, the only problem I have with that is if Finn Balor does end up pinning Lio Rush, then that almost certainly sets up some kind of feud or rivalry between Finn Balor and Bobby Lashley, with Lashley saying, "Oh, you didn't even pin me. You stole that title and all that stuff."
That.
Well, yeah,
but the thing about that is I don't think Finn and Bobby have good chemistry. I think it's kind of weird, and so I wouldn't really want them to go down that route. If he does pin Lio Rush, I could definitely see it going down that route.
Right.
But was what I was saying akin to what you were thinking, Steven?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah.
It's
It's weird booking, for sure.
Weird.
Yeah.
Weird.
It's very unusual, but I don't put it past them.
Yeah.
Like, this is literally the way that they think at this point. I'm very confident that Finn Balor will end up winning the championship.
But I gotta say, with a card so boring and devoid of intrigue, how does Vince McMahon see all of the amazing work in NXT and still think small guys can't cut it?
That's the question for the ages, J-Ro.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong.
There's no answer.
The answer is the Robot Fighting League.
No.
Moving swiftly along here, because there's still a lot of this card. Ronda Rousey versus Ruby Riott, which has had literally no build to it, no rivalry between Ruby or Ronda at this point.
This match makes no sense.
I mean,
especially because it's for the championship.
I mean, I get that you should probably still have Ronda defending her title up through WrestleMania. This is fine. That's no disrespect to Ruby Riott either, who I'm sure from everything I've seen, she's a great performer, and I'm sure she is deserving of a shot.
I like Ruby Riott.
Yeah.
I don't like the booking where it's obvious she's going to lose.
Yeah.
Right.
Ronda's not going to drop the title.
I'd be frustrated at that booking if I was Ruby Riott, because it kills any momentum you have as an up-and-comer unless Rousey puts Riott over. And Rousey is having trouble wrestling and cutting promos. So how's she going to put someone over?
I disagree. I think her ring works fine. I think her promos are getting better.
Yeah.
I think it's just...
promo does not a better mic person.
I get it. But like you said last week, it's hard to cut a promo if you're that inexperienced and the crowd is booing you so viciously.
Yeah.
All three of us would have such a problem.
But are you confident she could put Ruby Riott over? Are you confident that she could put anyone over at this point? I mean, when she's barely able to get herself over.
No, I don't think she's barely able to get her. I think she is over. I think she's absolutely a star. I think that this match will be fine for what it is, but I do think that it's just kind of a random throw in.
But how do you think she's over? I mean,
Vince obviously sees her as a star.
I mean, she's a star from her previous history.
Yeah.
She is not, if she was a average Joe Schmo wrestler, she'd be on her last chances. If she was just coming in, I mean, she had to cut a promo through raucous, unruly boos.
But see, that's exactly where she's over, is because as long as it's raucous cheers or raucous boos, you're over, right? I mean,
even if it's not because of anything you're doing.
I mean, I get you. I truly do.
I'm just saying, I believe in her. But I'm just saying, she's getting passes and shots because of her history. It's not because of anything she's doing. I mean, her ring work is great because she's athletic and she's definitely shown moments and spots. But I'm just saying, she's having a hard time with the traditionalism of wrestling and fitting in.
And it's still,
how's she going to get someone over? Like, she probably, in my opinion, she probably doesn't understand what that concept entails.
Well, and this is her first year in the business still. Like, she had never wrestled professionally anywhere else before, whereas a lot of these other ladies have wrestled for years now.
Yeah.
In all sorts of ways. So I think she understands the concept, just like Kurt Angle roughly understood the concept when he had his first year in wrestling. It was probably one of the greatest first years in wrestling ever. I do think that there's shades and similarities between Ronda and Kurt Angle's first year. I mean, I think that this match will be probably about as good as you can imagine a Ronda Rousey-Ruby Riott match being. This is definitely gonna be a slow crawl towards the WrestleMania main event that she'll be having later on this year. The Miz and Shane McMahon versus the Usos. I'm picking the Usos to go over here. I think that this is going to be what's going to kickstart this whole Miz and Shane rivalry. What do you guys think?
I mean, that rivalry, I think, in terms of booking and in terms of the road to WrestleMania, definitely makes sense. What I want to happen, Miz and Shane keep the titles and keep reigning on for a little bit. I think they have good chemistry. I think they cut really good promos together. But if I had to actually make a prediction, I would say that the Usos would probably go over at this point.
Jared?
I want to say, I think the Usos go over here. Like you said, it's a good chance to kick off the Miz and Shane rivalry. Obviously, Shane can put the Usos back over. I think for a lot of reasons, to prepare to compete with AEW's strong tag team division. Just what you could just imagine it being. Usos are probably your most reliable tag team at this point, with Kofi pull a little double duty and enter Elimination Chamber. So New Day's a little preoccupied, and Usos are going to be your most reliable bet after them. And then we can start a New Day Uso rivalry, which we'll probably need to compete with AEW.
Absolutely.
So it's that's probably where we're going to go.
Well, I mean, I do think this has potential for being a special match in the night.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd be saying a Miz and Shane McMahon tag match with the Usos would have potential for being match of the night. But you know what? Hey,
I was gonna say we're gonna see at least one coast to coast for sure.
Hey, this will be a good match nonetheless. So on to the Elimination Chamber matches.
Oh, one more thing, real quick. I was gonna say, best 4-month run for Shane McMahon.
I mean, there's a lot.
I mean, he's been doing it big.
He's had some good ones.
He's been doing it real big.
Good little. Just saying, ring work.
Yeah, no, it's not a bad run. I mean, he's definitely been more active this year than he's been in a long time. So good on him.
Just wanted to mention that.
The first ever women's tag team titles are at stake here with 6 competitive teams here inside Elimination Chamber. We have Nia Jax and Tamina. Boo.
Yay.
Oh. Boo. Okay. The Riot Squad, which is Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan, versus Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, versus the Iconics, which is Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, versus Bayley and Sasha Banks, Boss and Hug Connection, versus Naomi and Carmella. I mean, looking here, I could see any one of these teams winning. I would like it to be Bayley and Sasha, but I have a strong feeling that one of these other teams will end up winning the title, and we'll ultimately see Bayley and Sasha win the titles at Mania.
I'd like to see a storyline of Riot Squad and Bayley and Sasha feuding.
Yeah.
I think that's the strongest thing. I don't like so many tag teams, especially when Nia Jax and Tamina isn't a tag team.
Right.
Tamina's a bodyguard. She's not a tag partner.
But that's what
she's an enforcer. I feel like I'd rather it be cut down to competitors versus.
But aren't they like, oh geez. Aren't they like a team, kind of like Leo Rush and Bobby Lashley are a team, where like Leo Rush is the mouthpiece, but Tamina's just the bodyguard for Nia Jax. I think they're actually like cousins, Tamina and Nia Jax.
I believe so.
So I mean, I think they're a good enough team. I'd hate to say it, but they're probably there's a good chance that they're gonna win that title.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I would see Nia Jax and Tamina winning this Elimination Chamber, being the first women's tag team champions, leading up to a Boss Hug match at WrestleMania.
Yeah, absolutely.
But my whole thing is, when I think of great tag teams, I think of 2 people standing on their own. I don't think of Bobby Lashley and Leo Rush.
Well, that's a superstar and a manager.
Exactly.
Right.
That's a superstar and a manager.
Well, but to me,
superstar and an enforcer.
Right.
I don't think about. I think tag teams, I think I'd like to see Naomi and Carmella win, just because it's two people that have done their thing apart from each other and coming together.
Well,
Absolutely.
And they're saying that that's what their advantage is going to be, is that they've never tagged before in a match together.
I don't understand how that equates to an advantage, but okay.
Well, both of them are former women's champions.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They've done their dirt outside of each other.
Yeah, but there's more that goes into being a great tag team than just having good ring work. You know, there's teamwork and communication and things like that. That's just kind of confusing to me. Like,
which is where you
we've never done it before. That's why we have an advantage. It's like, that doesn't really make sense.
And you have that in the Riot Squad. You have that in the Bayley and Sasha Banks, the Boss Hug connection. You have this with the Iconics a little bit, with the Riot Squad. I mean, you know, you definitely have those teams that this kind of tag team wrestling trope here.
Yeah.
But I do see your point. On to the main event. Last but not least, of course, Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles versus Jeff Hardy versus Randy Orton versus Mojo versus Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston, who put in an amazing performance on SmackDown, went about an hour long in a gauntlet match, ended up pinning Daniel Bryan clean. Nice. He had a lot of very interesting spots throughout the match. He ultimately did get eliminated with Randy Orton winning the gauntlet match ultimately. Who do we have here coming out of this match?
Well,
with the title?
This feels like what's weird about this pay-per-view is it's got all the making storyline wise of being highly boring. It's from a results perspective.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But especially leading to that headline match, the work has a potential to be some of the matches, you know what I mean, of this year. Some of the top matches, just pure, you know, in a vacuum matches. I mean, because Kofi's going to do some crazy stuff.
This will be
Samoa Joe is going to throw somebody around.
Yeah.
And Randy Orton is going to get his. Yeah. And Jeff Hardy's jumping off of something. But it's like, Daniel Bryan or AJ Styles is gonna win.
Yeah, I have
like,
no doubt in my mind.
Amazing.
Yeah, I have no doubt in my mind that the match is gonna be great. Look at the people that are in the match. Like you said, if you take it in a bubble, this match is gonna be fantastic. Yeah. But
so it's weird.
If you do look at it from the other side, which is the storyline perspective, as a storyline, for me, there's only one person that can win. As a storyline, it's a very boring match for sure. But like you said, in a bubble, it is going to be a good performance. Yeah. For me, there's no way that Daniel Bryan doesn't walk out of this match with the title for many reasons, but one specifically, he just got a custom title.
Yeah.
There's no way that they're going to give that custom title to any, like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
I can't see anybody else holding up that hemp belt.
Right.
But I'm just saying, one in a possible, from a storyline perspective, Daniel Bryan or AJ Styles.
Right.
Because that's the feud.
One thing, I'm gonna call my shot now. One thing I could possibly see happening here is because we have seen Eric Rowan now coming out and helping out Daniel Bryan. Maybe we also see Luke Harper make his return, and he teams up with Daniel Bryan and, of course, Eric Rowan, and maybe interferes inside the Elimination Chamber match, helps Daniel Bryan
How do they get in?
Oh, you can knock over a referee and get some bolt cutters, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's happened before. I mean, Shawn Michaels has gotten inside the Elimination Chamber before to square up with The Undertaker. But I do see, like you said, Daniel Bryan winning the match. Ultimately, it will be highly entertaining, I'm sure. Kofi Kingston pinned Daniel Bryan clean. I've heard Brian Alvarez on Wrestling Observer Live and Wrestling Observer Radio talk all week about, should Kofi end up getting some kind of singles match against Daniel Bryan for the title, or should he get some kind of title push? I mean, I don't see why not.
I think New Day is great right now as a tag team and in that division. I don't see. I mean, you got to give it to them. I mean, their run a few years ago.
No, I mean, everyone in New Day has great ring work and great mic work. There's no denying that. I just really don't like those characters.
I love them, man. I mean, specifically being African American, I love the fact that they are in control of their characters.
And that is really cool.
Rappers,
for sure.
They're not. You know what I'm saying?
No, I 100% agree.
I definitely get your angle
Yeah.
there. Yeah,
100% agree with you on that.
But what I was going to say was, if anyone is to come out of that trio, I'm going Xavier Woods. So that's why I can't see a Kofi Kingston push. I think he is who he is at this point, making a good paycheck, great at what he does specifically, So.
Ooh.
Or maybe it comes down to Kofi and Daniel Bryan, and Kofi looks like he might beat Daniel Bryan, and then you have, Luke Harper and Eric Rowan come out. They interfere. They put away Kofi. That might put a New Day versus Daniel Bryan and the Green Police together.
That'd be fun.
Some
but,
kind of feud.
How do we get out of Fastlane and into WrestleMania? With the Daniel Bryan match.
Oh yeah, no, this it would be more or less a subplot storyline. You could still run that, while also in the background, Daniel Bryan has something else going on with maybe Mustafa Ali, or we could still set up the AJ Styles Samoa Joe match.
Yeah, which I am still kind of bummed that Mustafa's not in this match.
It is a bummer.
Yeah,
I was really, really looking forward to that. I mean, Kofi's gonna be great in the match. There's no denying that, but it would have just been really cool to see him in there.
It would have been.
What I would like to see happen, because this is such a move he would make, is Samoa Joe winning. That throws a wrench into everything.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't mind, to Tanner's point, maybe a Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe triple threat match. Just trying to keep that Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles feud fresh. So it's, you know what I mean? So it's
Like
not
cycling more people in it, so it's not just them. Yeah. I can see that for sure.
That'd be cool.
I mean, that'd be a nice little wild card too. Like I said, a pretty predictable night.
Gentlemen, is there anything else that y'all want to talk about before we close out the show?
I think we've pretty much talked about everything. I don't want us to sound like we're crazy hard on this card, because there are going to be some nice matches in it.
Yeah.
It's just a very confusing card.
Yeah, it certainly starts a slow crawl towards WrestleMania.
Definitely.
One that maybe we felt like maybe the fuse was going to be a little bit more lit on this one here.
Right.
But it feels, of course, just our opinion here, this could have been definitely organized and put together a lot better.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was just they didn't find enough time coming off the back of Royal Rumble or what the deal is, but we'll see what happens on Sunday. I'm sure there will be a few matches well worth talking about.
I mean, at the end of the day, the Elimination Chamber match is a very cool match.
Yeah, it's a great
and
concept.
so it's a very cool match. For me personally, minus the women's Elimination Chamber, not too excited about that one. But with the Elimination Chamber match and having all these really nice guys in it, it's going to be a good match. So.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, don't forget to check us out. Follow us on Twitter at Headlock Talk for more information or for more of our thoughts and when we'll be dropping episodes. You can also find our podcast on YouTube, of course, where we're having this knockout series loaded up to. We'll also have it on iTunes, Spotify, and Stitcher. If you ever want to write to us, because we want to have this mailbag section, you guys, email us at headlocktalk@gmail.com. Again, it's headlocktalk@gmail.com. We would certainly love to hear from you guys. My name is Tanner. To my left, Mr. J. Rob. And to my right, Steven. Alrighty. You guys have yourselves a great night. Enjoy Elimination Chamber.
Later, y'all.
Peace out.